Today's guest is Ciaran Flanagan. He is on a mission to help people become unbreakable mentally, physically, and emotionally. He's originally from Ireland, so shout out to Ireland again. Ciaran is the founder of Inergize Health, where he built one of the first portable cold plunges, self cooling, self cleaning, and designed for deep full body immersion. With hot tub mode for contrast therapy and a sleek space saving design, it's trusted by athletes, entrepreneurs, and high performers looking to optimize recovery and resilience. This was launched. His company was launched as a crowdfunding hit on Indiegogo. He was featured in Forbes, and he also co-created a custom branded cold plunge with Ben Greenfield for his Life Network. He's going to get into this. Is a bit of a combo of talking about cold plunging. I know I'm hitting you guys with this again, but if this has not become a part of your life yet, please try it. Please try it. I know I'm hitting you guys kind of hard with it, but I really want you guys to experience what it can do for you. And I mentioned when the episode starts, but I'll say again here in the intro that our episode with Edge Theory Labs, Joshua Church, Edge Theory Labs actually went out of business. So I was like, dang it, dude, that sucks. So I wanted to introduce you guys to Inergize Health because I'm really impressed with their tubs. They're affordable. They're amazing. So let's go ahead and get to know Ciaran and talk. We're going to talk a little bit about his entrepreneurial story and his own personal story, which is very inspiring as well. So we will go ahead and get into it. Here is Ciaran Flanagan. Okay, so Ciaran, all right, Inergize. We were chatting before the show, and just being real with some of my audience, like we had another cold plunge company come on, and that was Edge Theory Labs, Josh, awesome. And they went out of business. And I was like, oh, dang, dude, that sucks. And so I wanted to alert my audience to some awesome options for them in terms of cold plunging, and also just educate about cold plunging and bring in your story with it. Because obviously if you are doing a cold plunging company, it must mean something to you. So I wanted to share some perspectives they haven't heard before, and also just introduce your tubs to my peeps. Before we get into your story and starting Inergize and all of that, can you just tell them a little bit about your guys' tubs and because I know like people are doing like from the little temporary blow up ones to they're, trying to makeshift something. I had a freezer one. I think you did too,
Yeah.
and like, can you tell them like what is available to them in terms of your tubs and why that might be worth an investment for them?
Yeah, so we have one product right now. It's the Inergize Cold Plunge. It's our hero product. It's portable, compact, and it cools, cleans, and filters your water. So it eliminates the ice, eliminates any DIY setup. It doesn't take up much space, and it gets
Mm,
you a full body submersion. It can cool down to 37 degrees, or it can heat up to hot tub mode to 105 degrees. So it can give you that
nice.
recovery and relaxation benefit of cold water therapy and hot water therapy. It is app controlled, so you can schedule it around your routine.
That's
So
cool.
you get up in the morning, you can get it to kick on and cool down to your temperature that you want it to go at. And then it'll switch off for the rest of the day to like save
Nice.
your electric costs, and it'll just work around your schedule. And yeah, it uses a filtration system, so it filters the water 7 times in an hour. So the water is
Mm,
always clean when you get in there, and it eliminates. And you probably had that same situation where you've got the DIY freezer and you have to empty out the water every 2 weeks because it gets
horrible. Yes.
yeah. And then so the filtration eliminates that. You can just keep the water in there for months on end. Like I've tested
Wow.
it for 5 to 6 months, and it's good to go.
Wow.
Um, yeah, you just need to change the filter on a monthly basis, add some sanitation, and it keeps it clean and ready to go 24/7.
Mm,
So yeah, that price point is in around right now is in around like the 3.5 to 4K mark. We are launching other products this year that are not going to have all the specs that I just listed out. It's not going to have app control. It's not going to be as powerful as the 3/4 horsepower chiller that cools in 4 hours or 5 hours. It's going to
mm.
be a less powerful one that it'll still get the job done. It'll still get done into 30s, but it just won't have like the scheduling features. It won't have hot tub mode. It'll have the filtration. It'll keep it clean, but it's just going to be like your standard like entry level cold plunge that hopefully we can get more people into this. Like it's been such a life changer for me, and like that's my mission is to spread it as far as possible, and this is like one of the steps to actually do that.
Yeah, amazing. Is the nicer one, the one you have now, is it, I mean, it can't be portable, right? Because you have that huge motor unit, right? This is something that you're going to put in your house, like in, or wherever you set it up, your spa or your office or whatever, and keep it there. Yeah.
Most people keep it permanent setup at their
Yeah.
house. The tub itself is drop stitch fabric. It's portable. A lot of people love it because of the versatility of it. They can bring it into their garage in the winter time, or they can put it in their garden during the summer, or they can put it on the balcony because it's a low footprint. It just gives you a bit more versatility. For example, I'm going to Mexico this weekend for a friend's birthday party. Gonna throw it in my truck, bring it down to Mexico, and set it up for the weekend. So it just has like little
Right.
convenient features like that if you're maybe going on a road trip, or some people have second homes where they use it for, they bring it with them to their second home, like when the seasons change. So in terms of like going on a flight with it, I've brought the tubs on a flight, but I haven't brought the chiller. Usually
Right.
if there's like an athlete or a celebrity that wants to use it at a concert, they would they would like ship it FedEx, like the chiller, and
Mm.
bring the tub with them. That's what I've done when I've like done shoots in Texas or things like that. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for that. And yeah, you've been selling them to some celebrities, athletes, like you guys have really gotten out there.
we
Yeah.
have, yeah, no, I've had some really cool experiences. Like Drake has one, Will Smith, and like Dustin Johnson, people of like high caliber, and yeah, it's just opened up doors that I've never thought was going to happen. Like looking back at the prototype days, like I had no idea what was I was in for. But yeah, it's cool to see. We like there's a small percentage of really like top elite athletes and celebrities, but the majority of our customers are just normal people who just want to get healthier, reduce their stress, feel happier, and it's just like that tool to help them like on their day to day to become a better person. So
hmm I think the reason that, companies like yours and mine that are into health optimization and biohacking and whatnot tend to have like a large base of people who just want to live life at the highest level possible. And you always kind of have these trickles of celebrities and pro athletes and stuff is because it's a similar way of being. The way of being is I want to see what's possible for myself in life. I want to feel my best, even if I'm, maybe I run a smaller company. I'm not Will Smith or something or some, famous athlete. In my own world, I am a bit obsessed with how good does it get? How good does life get? How optimal can I feel?
mhm.
Would you agree? Like it's that same kind of vibe of humans.
Yeah, like you just want to know what's possible. Like
Yeah.
once you like start having these growth periods in your life and things start running smoothly, you're like, oh wow,
Right.
like I actually, there was like a thought holding me back, or a limiting belief, or I
Right.
just wasn't healthy, so I was kind of messing up my own self, like I was self-sabotaging. So
Right.
yeah, you just want to like unlock that next level. And sometimes it is a product like where you're in the cold plunge, and it gives you that mental focus, that mental acuity,
hmm
it gives you that stress resilience, so you can run your business like more in your relaxed state, not your stress state, the sympathetic state.
Right.
So yeah, it's just, yes, it's great modality to help you perform at your best. And it's not just the physical, it is the mental, which most people use. Like they want to build that mental discipline and grit. Um,
hmm
like for me, I hit rock bottom like 3 or 4 years ago. It was after COVID, and I had been partying out that summer, and I wasn't looking after myself. I burnt out, and I got COVID, and I was in my room for 2 weeks just by myself. And to top things off, my girlfriend broke up with me, and
Oh,
I felt the worst I had ever thought. And I thought to myself, I need to get myself out of this. I got myself in it. I have to get myself out. And in that moment, I quit alcohol, I quit escaping life, and I had to build
Wow.
like a more disciplined life for myself. And I I had to replace the alcohol with something else, and it was cold water therapy. It was my anchor. So I got in the DIY freezer, and it helped me center myself and look at my thoughts that I had been escaping. And that's the same reason a lot of other people use the cold water therapy. They want to increase their mental grit, their discipline, and it translates to everything else in their life. It's like a domino effect.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just like the physical, like reducing inflammation. Like it's a lot of like mental training for. It's
Mm-hmm.
basically like the gym for your mind, I would say.
100%. Thank you for sharing that. And I think, if we want to go, Wim Hof, probably a lot of listeners have read his book. If you haven't, you should read Wim Hof's book, or at least just listen to him on a podcast. But, he really got the word out there on a lot of these things. And that's where he started, was just like he was in a low, and I think what's so cool about it is it's a relatively inexpensive modality that causes you to go within. You have no choice, right? There's nobody to turn to. It's you in the cold. Like, it's you in your relationship with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it causes you to go inward while also giving you a very significant mood boost of dopamine, norepinephrine. Some have said serotonin, like all of these mood boosting neurochemicals. So not only are you going within, but you're doing it in a more little bit easier in a more boosted way of doing that, so you can have epiphanies. I mean, it's not too far off from like psychedelic journeys for a lot of people. It's like you're boosting a lot of these feel good chemicals of serotonin or whatnot, so you can go within and
Mm-hmm.
you can actually process that in a healthy way. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like a turbo boost for
Right.
meditation is the way I put it.
Totally.
Like I struggle to focus in on the meditation. Like I find my mind going everywhere. It's super hard, and
Hmm.
getting in the cold is just like it's so much quicker. It's less than
Totally.
20 minutes. You're in there for like 2 minutes, and instantly like you're locked in, and it clears out the chatter, and you're relaxed, and you get that deep meditative state that you would get in a 30-minute meditation, I feel like. So it's just like it's for entrepreneurs like me and you, like we're all about time efficiency. So
Yeah.
we want to like pack as much in the least amount of time possible. And I feel like the cold does that. Like it
Yeah.
forces you into presence and clears the chatter. And um
Hmm.
it is so good for your body and mind.
Yeah, it's a tool. It's a biohacking tool. It's an optimization tool. And I'm all about that. Like, why? I mean, granted, cool, go on your Vipassana retreat and learn how to be in silence and do it that way too. That's also awesome.
Mhm.
And on the daily, if it helps you get to a place where you are actually getting the benefits in a way that's achievable for us in our day-to-day lives, like, why not? Plus all the physical benefits, like you said. And I kind of want to hit on breath work a little bit, because I know that you facilitate like breath work and cold plunge type events with people. And we're actually getting ready to do this at a retreat. I'm running in Tulum in April doing breath work. We've got a free diver guy that does this in Tulum, and he's going to take us through this. So I'm pretty pumped. And I also want to hear your thoughts on it. Like, what, in terms of combining the breath work with the cold, like how have you found that to be? Or how should I say this? Could you describe the experience of combining those modalities versus just doing a cold plunge?
Yeah, so I actually encourage like the breath work in my community events. We run workshops with breath work and cold, and the way I phrase it is it's like an exercise. It's like the gym for your nervous system. Both of them are, and
Mm-hmm.
the breath work is a warm up to the cold plunge. Is how I'd like to phrase it, where you're training your nervous system to go out of your sympathetic state into your parasympathetic state. The exact same thing happens in the cold. You're hyperventilating, you're stressed out, your mind's going wild, and then eventually after like the 2 minute mark, minute and a half mark, you go into your rest and digest, and that switch in your sympathetic state happens in breath work. So I feel that when you go from breath work into the cold, it's a lot less jarring, especially for people that just done it, that's just doing it for the first time. They're primed, they're charged up, they're in the zone. There's no voice in their head. My first cold plunge was in Colombia, and we did breath work to right before getting in the cold water, and I honestly wasn't even going to get in the cold. Like I went to this event, had my shorts on, no like swim gear at all. I just wanted to meet a community. And after the breath work, I was like so hyped up. Like my body was vibrating, like my blood, I could feel my blood pulsating. And I was just like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I didn't have any swim shorts, got it in my like jean shorts. And yeah,
Awesome.
I feel like the breath work is just like a great warm up to the cold, and they're great by themselves even, but yeah, it's great when you pair them together. I feel like getting in the cold is a lot easier when you have the breath work to pair it with.
Yeah, I had that experience one time where we did like a full on like breath work workshop kind of thing, and then got into like a freezing cold river coming down the mountains in Utah, and it was nobody wanted to get out. Normally what people are like, okay, has it been 2 minutes yet? Has it been, oh geez, 3 minutes? Okay, cool, I'm good. But we were like 15 plus minutes before the guy was like, okay, guys, you got to get out. You got to get, and we were like, no, yeah. And it was cold. This is like was early spring, like straight from snow, you know? So yeah, it is.
The river's the hardest too.
What is that?
The river is the hardest as well, because
Yeah.
you got that thermal layer. It's just constant cold, but you're in there for
Right.
15 minutes. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
We were like dunking our heads under and like laughing because it felt like orgasmic. Like we were just like, feels so good. It was such a
Jesus,
cool experience.
that's
Yeah.
so cool.
And I guess that kind of leads me. Okay. So you went to Colombia, you had this experience. You were like, wow, this is powerful. Then you came back home from Colombia, and is that when the later after that is when the getting off alcohol thing happened? Is that the right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The seed had been planted in Colombia. I came back to
Yeah.
America, and basically in that quarantine period, that's when I realized I needed to sort my life out, and I also
Yeah.
realized how important the cold was for doing that. Like it was my anchor, it was my replacement
Yeah.
for alcohol, it was the silence that I needed, and I had such a passion for it. Like I was ready, bringing people to my house. We call it Wellness Wednesdays. We do like cold
Nice.
plunge, breath work, sauna, and I had a mentor that said to me, choose a business where you fall in love with the customer. Like you love the customer.
Mhm.
And for me, it was the cold water therapy. Like I could talk to those people all the time. They're growth oriented. They've got businesses, or like they're into the work, they're into personal development. And I just vibe with those types of people. So I
Yeah.
figured may as well like try to figure out a business in the cold water immersion space. And I knew what the problem was. Like the freezer was not safe. It was dirty. It was hard to maintain, and that's like what spurred the Inergize Cold Plunge Tub.
Mm.
I also like had like an engineering background. Like back in England, when I used to live in England, I did stress analysis and CAD work for um, cooling systems on oil rigs. So that helped like understand like the chiller systems and like the heat and cold therapy. So I used that, and I started tinkering in my garage and testing different like tubs, different chillers, and just find like the best option for my own needs. And
Cool.
it helped a lot of other people as well.
You know, it's funny because, like, I don't know if you guys can kind of hear a little bit of Irish accent going on in Ciaran, but I was just saying we just had Brian Keane on, who's also from Ireland, a couple episodes ago, and he was talking about, would you do it for free? Would you do what you're doing professionally, like for free, if you were independently wealthy? And I love your story because you were like, I actually was doing it for free. Like I actually was, in ways like I was having all these people over and just having a blast, and then was like, okay, how do I make a career out of this and bring awesomeness? And you also obviously have like that engineer kind of brain, like putting things together, you know, and that probably serves you in business also, like the figure it out kind of brain. So it's
Yeah,
like you use your gifts and something that you love doing and brought them together into
it
this, which is
was
really
it was
cool.
like a perfect like match of
Yeah.
like engineering, like passion, and at the time as well, like I switched from engineering to marketing, so it was like a like all in one. Like it hits so many different areas that I love. Like I love marketing, love products, I love the people that it brings. So yeah, it was a great synergy of my passion. And
Mm.
I actually started Energize with like no capital. All I had was ad experience and a mission to get the product out there. So I had a launch on Indiegogo. It was a crowdfunding platform where you could get pre-orders for your product and get like hype around
Wow.
it in the community. And yeah, it was the most stressful time of my life. I had a ton of money on credit cards, and all the ad spend was on there.
Oh
Uh,
my
I
gosh.
just remember the day like the crowdfunding campaign ended, and I just paid off the credit cards, and it was just like a relief. I was like, oh,
I bet.
it was like
Yeah.
a year of just intense stress, but it just felt so good to like know the hardest part was over, just getting it launched. So
Okay, so tell me this, because if you have like an engineer type brain, like I know that your brain is wired to think, is this going to work? Can I make this work? So if you're putting it all on the line like that, crowd funding, putting everything on credit cards, like what what in you knew that it was going to work? Why did you know it was going to work?
I knew it was going to work because when I started running like the ads for it, the engagement from the ads was
Mm,
crazy.
mm,
I was running the ads in January of 2022. And I had pre-sold like about 5 units that to people, and that was like, it wasn't with a lot of ad spend at that time, so I knew like the cost to acquire was pretty good, and like the margins were decent. So I had an inclination it was going to be like well worth the time, but it was still really hard to do because I'm the one like spending the money on ads, and I'm the one like creating ads and running them. I see like it
right.
just go down and down like the amount of debt I have. So
Right.
it's a lot different when you're spending someone else's money on their product and trying to get conversions. But when it's your own, it's a whole different like
Right.
mental game for sure.
Yeah, well, I love that answer because there's this movie Robots. It's a kids movie. It's like a cartoon movie, but there's this robot on there that says "See a need, fill a need," and I think it's such a great business phrase. Like you found out that people wanted it first. That's essentially, and I think it's a great not only business lesson, but also interpersonal lesson in terms of like what we're sharing with people or, wanting to quote unquote help, but people aren't really asking for that help. And that's the same thing with business is like, I think sometimes there can be a trap of like, this is what people should want. They need this and people set out that way. And it's like, unless they're already saying they want it, that's
Mm,
gonna be a tough sell,
yeah,
So yeah, you're like, I just found out I invested, I took some risks, I invested some money in ads, and yeah, it turns out people were pretty excited about that. So then I knew it was good to go. Right. So yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was just like, I mean, it comes with like any business that you start. There's a bit of risk involved. Like you
Right.
don't know if it's going to work out until it actually happens. You're like, oh, like
Okay,
I
good.
knew
I
it was
thought
going to
so.
work. Like, yeah, of course it was going to work.
Right.
But
Cool.
yeah, it helps being able like to test things beforehand, like whether it's through your posts on Instagram or like a pre-launch, just to see what the engagement is, if there is engagement before fully like committing into like a full production run,
Right.
or like going all in the business. It just helps.
Yeah. Okay, tell me this. Tell me this. Like, so now it's like I mean, I'm under no delusions that much of your time is not spent on business stuff now. Like you have to be like there's so much behind the scenes, but I'm assuming also you're still facilitating some group experiences and things like this with the breath work and the cold plunge. So I'm wondering, from all that experience that you have of facilitating with people and obviously using your own tubs, which has got to be like really fun and cool. Like, what do you have any words of wisdom in terms of maybe belief systems people have about it, or ways to optimize cold plunging, or just some tidbits for people who are maybe already into cold plunging or haven't gotten into it yet that you would pass along maybe as if they were at one of your workshops? What's your best counsel for people?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like influencers out there that say like this is the protocol, this is how many minutes stay
Yeah.
in per week. But I feel like everyone's biology is different. Like some people say don't cold plunge at night or don't cold plunge after a workout. But I feel like it's different for everyone. And I think everyone has to like test what works for them. So
Thank you. Thank
like
you. Yep.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
like it's not the same cookie cutter like protocol for everyone. Like for me, it works for me in the morning, like 3 minutes, and I'm good. It wakes me up. And it all depends what you're optimizing for. So I mean, some people could be optimizing for focus, energy. Some other people could be optimizing for recovery. So it depends on like your goal, and I think you start there,
Yeah.
and then whatever it is, you should have some way of like tracking that, whether it's like a Whoop or ring or like some fitness device. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
super expensive, but
Yeah.
get something that tracks your heart rate, your HRV, and just to see how like how it affects your stress and your
Totally.
body and your sleep. So yeah, that
Yeah.
would be my tidbit if you're looking to optimize your protocol that works for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. I was taking my 17-year-old son has been going to the gym at 5 a.m. for a while now, and he actually likes me to go with him, which is like so special. And this morning he's like, "Wait, are you supposed to do cardio after or before you lift?" And I was like, "Dude, just try both of them and see what you like better. I can give you a bunch of theory, but like honestly, I feel like we sometimes have gotten so in like this need to be needed and be the authority or whatever that we're like kind of nonsensically removing people from themselves. And it's like, I'm just telling you right now, it doesn't matter that much. Just try it out and see what you think. And then you'll know, you know. So I appreciate that because
Yeah.
yeah, especially with cold, because there's, I'm thinking from like a genetic standpoint, there's some people who have like a slow COMT and they hold on to adrenaline for longer than other people. So maybe for them, they might get a different result doing a different frequency or timing than somebody who doesn't, or vice versa. So I appreciate your respect to the individual.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I mean, I kind of go against the green where like I cold plunge really late at night after a workout, and for me, it's to
Awesome.
optimize like being able to do it like after work. Like I work late, so I want
Yeah.
to work out after, and I know it's meant to like blunt your gains, but I'd rather like get the workout in and be able to sleep after instead of like having my heart rate elevated and like not sleep good. So yeah,
Nice.
it works for me. I've tested it, and yeah, just test what you want to try out and see
Yeah.
if it works for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I always tell people, I'm like, I'm really into circadian rhythm and I love working out early now. But when I got fit, I was working out at like 8, 9 o'clock at night. So, and it wasn't good for sleep, not
Yeah,
good at all. But I got fit doing that. I'm not saying it's optimal, but sometimes we get so pigeonholed in this, like, the optimal, good, bad. Oh, well, don't do that, do this. And it's just like, dude, just do what freaking works for you. You got to make it work sometimes. And we're we're a little like privileged kind of vibes. Like, I don't know, when my son was asking me, like, should I do my we're just like doing 10 minutes of cardio. I'm like, before or after. And I'm thinking of, I don't know, some hard worker in South America. And it's like, oh, should you do this hard work first or that one? It's like, just freaking do it, dude. Like, you're,
get
you're
done.
going to be okay. We're like overthinking this stuff to death.
Yeah, yeah, like the tiny nuances that probably don't really matter, like in the wrong.
Right.
Just get
And
it
let me
done.
give you my scientific reasons for it so I sound like an authority. And it's like, we can do that, but at the same time, we got to think about the impact that that's having on people. It's like, because I deal with the aftermath of that as a coach. Like, well, I heard on a podcast that you're not supposed to do that. So I know I shouldn't have. And I'm like, oh my God, this doesn't even matter, that you're fine. Oh my gosh. So I appreciate the respect.
Yeah, everyone has their opinion, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's best to test it out for yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, all right. Well, I think I don't know. Are there any like events or anything that you would direct people to in terms of learning more about Energize or participating with you guys?
Yeah, right now we're doing the events in San Diego. So yeah, you can add us on Instagram, energizehealth.com, energize with
Okay.
an I.
Yeah, with an
Um,
I.
yep. And then for like any product launches that we have, energizehealth.com
Okay.
is our website, and our Instagram handle is just Energize Health.
Energize Health. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I appreciate the affordability. I think that's a really great price for something that can also go with hot, hot and cold. You're gonna getting a 2 for 1 there, and it has an app and you can time it and you're not wasting energy. Like, I think that's a super good deal for something that has that much capacity. So
Yeah.
appreciate that. And we will link that up in case you guys want to check it out more. And yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. Any last little tidbits on health or optimization that you would leave with people, either from a breath or a cold standpoint?
Yeah, I would just say if you're not into the cold, like try a cold shower,
Yeah.
and try it in the morning and just do it for a week or two and see, just journal about it, see how it makes you feel and how your mood is, how your work day is, and yeah, give it a go, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you're gonna become addicted pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Karen, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And we will put all the links and all the show notes and blast you guys all over social media. So we'll
All
see
right,
you when we post that all up soon. So thank you so much.
all right. Thanks, Farah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Inside Out Health Podcast. I hope it's been helpful to you in your journey. If you think that it might be helpful to someone you know, please share it with them. Please share on social media. It really helps me grow the show and reach more people with these amazing messages. And if you could be so kind as to rate the show and possibly even leave me a review, that really helps. So much thanks in advance if you do that. And yeah, please subscribe if you want to hear more of this type of content. I have lots of amazing expert guests on the way. All right. Thank you.